Back in the basement again. I know I said I wasn't gonna be doing these all the time, but it just so happened to be that today is a max effort squat day. So I have a top set of 3 on squats at RPE 10. And I thought what I'd do is not show you the whole workout because it's not gonna be that much different from last Monday, but instead take you through what it's like using Juggernaut to kind of get to my top set. So I went in and I did hit my pre-training survey, filled it all out, felt pretty good. Mondays, I usually feel pretty good because I had the weekend to rest, recover. So most of the things that I put in were a 4 today. My goal is to win the day. And I really try to put in these daily affirmations in here about what I'm trying to do, positive reinforcement. So taking a look here, top set of 3 reps. I'm going to be using the warm-up portion of Juggernaut today. So I'm gonna do this. It's gonna base my warm-up, my top set, based off what my current 1 rep max in the system is, which is 570. I'm taking that number from what I hit at Nationals a couple of months ago. So it's gonna walk me through this and I'll walk you through it. So first set is 45 pounds for 10 to 20 reps. So let's go ahead and do that. One of the things I will say as I do this, again, I start typically with a little bit wider grip to warm my shoulders up. I'm not putting on my knee sleeves just yet, but I will. But my depth usually gets better as the weight gets added. Again, just trying to make sure that I get some stuff moving. So I rode the bike for a little bit longer today than normal. Okay, so I'm gonna add some weight. I'll add the RPE stuff here as well. So next set, it's almost always 135. I'm not gonna look because that's what I assume it is. The barbell of choice today is the Ivanko 29 millimeter, 20 kg OBX, black oxide. It's a fairly passive bar in terms of knurling goes, but the reason I like this, especially a squat width, so it just finds a little bit wider, which for me on a rogue rack means I'm not gonna clip the plates on the rack. And even though I clean my walkout, get better than that, my main focus is just hitting the weight today. So this is just going to take one thing out of the equation that I don't have to account for anymore. So another thing I'm gonna do before I do this set is I'm gonna go ahead and put my knee sleeves on. For this video, I'll be wearing the Tolos Archetype 2.0s. I actually wore these in my Friday session. I didn't talk about them then, just because I basically just had bench. It was an upper body day. But in terms of leg drive and grip, like I find what I found in that test I did the other day holds true. Like these grips on these shoes are as good, if not better, based off of the stupid test I did, as the Avansis, which is really surprising. Now, the Avansis obviously has some other benefits over these, like the fact that they're designed for lifting, so the sole itself is flatter. These ones are rounded up a little bit. Those have more sidewall, these don't. But the advantages that these have is I think they look a lot better personally. And I actually have several pairs of these Tolos shoes that I wear outside of the gym. In fact, I have an older pair, my first pair, because I have like 7 pairs now that I use to mow the lawn in. So there's always that. I should get collars for this as well. And then I'm going to set up the Rep 1 velocity tracker, which you guys have seen several times. But I'm probably gonna skip through these warm-ups. So you'll see them. I'll just come and talk real quick, but I wanna focus on warming up, make sure I get a good set. Okay, so where we are at right now, let me grab my phone, do this in real time. So you basically, as you guys have been seeing, I've been sharing screenshots. You do like 5s, 3s, or whatever, multiple reps. You basically just have the option to check the box to say that you did it. When you do start to get into the singles like I am now, so first single at 455, it's gonna ask you how things moved, and it's really simplistic. It either basically moved shitty, poop emoji, it moved okay, thumbs up, or it flew, fire emoji. That actually felt really good for me, so I'm gonna hit fire. And what that's going to do, it's going to start adjusting my next actual sets, and potentially it's gonna impact my top set. Again, initially the target top set was 525, but we'll see how things go. The next actual warm-up is 500 for a single. I'll have to rate that again, so we'll see you in a second. All right, so 0.42. I moved okay. Didn't feel as great as the last set. So let's go in here and see exactly what we're gonna need to do. Let me just record this so I can show you in real time. All right, so 500 for one moved okay. Suggested working weight 535, so 10 pounds heavier. And you know what? I'm gonna go for it. See what happens. All right, fuck it. I was gonna pause it. I'm not gonna pause it. For 3, was heavy, obviously. It's supposed to be an RPE 10. Rated average velocity is 0.28. It's actually more around like an 8. However, I'm gonna say, conservatively speaking, I'm gonna say a 9, which I still think is good. So that's 535 for 3 at 9. And just for reference, at Nationals 2 months ago, my opening attempt was 523. So 12 pounds over that with some left in the tank. Good sign, all right? Really positive. Where is my phone? Problem with filming these damn videos while lifting, it takes my focus off of this, but also it's like I'm old, I'm out of shape, out of breath, hard to talk and think. So it said 535, I'm gonna hit start working sets. I'm gonna fill this in. The weight was 535 for 3. Gonna do it at 9. It's going to say estimated max is increased 590 to 605. Even though I couldn't bump this up, I'm like, let's say it's like December 6th or something like that. It might be the 5th. It's the 4th, strong. Is that right? That can't be right. It is the 4th. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna leave it as is, just because after this week, I have a deload week, and then I jump into the peak. The peak's a two-week peak. So I think I'll better set my stuff in terms of maxes when I'm doing like heavy singles. It's gonna ask me to do like a heavy single at like 9 or whatever, or a double at 9. I think that's gonna be more accurate than a set of 3. So I'm gonna keep it as is for now. I'm gonna hit done. It's gonna give me my back off work. 3 sets of 3 at 455, and let's get to that, and then we'll end the video. All right, so finish the back off sets, 3 sets of 3, 455. The back off sets actually felt better as I went along. And even though I rated it lower in the RPE for Juggernaut, it suggested my last set I should actually bump it to 465. I'm in the habit of not doing that. Like, the way I look at it is I put all my effort into that top set. Oftentimes I'll actually scale back the suggested back off work. I decided to stick with 455 today because it's almost like a 100-pound difference, 80-pound difference from my top set to my back off sets. I felt like that was manageable, especially after how the first set moved and felt. So I decided to just stick with 455. One of the things you might have noticed is for the first and second back off, I actually switched shoes to the Advances. The reason I wanted to do that is just, I haven't really squatted heavy in these. I did box squats in these the other day. Obviously did my top single in the Tolos. But one of the things that you can see probably here, hopefully, is the actual heel and shape of the sole on the Tolos is much more rounded on the edges, whereas the Advances is very flat. So you do get a lot more lateral stability in these. However, for me, like, I just don't find that I need it for the most part. Like, obviously I can tell these aren't as stable in the heel and stuff, but I'm mostly pressing down and not rotating out. So I could really go either one of these in terms of which one I would use for a top squat. So there's one that doesn't really necessarily stick out better than the other. And again, to me, the grip on these is very, very similar, and they're a very similar price point. Obviously, we'll continue to wear these and test them out to give you guys some feedback, but either are great shoes if you're looking for powerlifting specific ones. However, if you need that lateral support, the Advances probably has the nod there. But that's where I'm gonna call it for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed walking and talking with me as I did my top set. I'm pretty pumped for how today started. Good start to the week. Hope you guys all have the same. In the meantime, as always, thanks for watching and stay big.